Yes, please.
Jasmine Crockett recently.
Jasmine Crockett. Remember what I said? Is she a relation to the late, great Davy Crockett? I don't think so. Jasmine Crockett, let me tell you, before you even ask, she's a very low IQ person. I mean, if we ever had to pass an aptitude test, that's the one should take one because she shouldn't even be in the crowd. So I have no idea what you're going to, but I don't think we should waste our time. This is a low IQ person.
The studio fell silent as Donald Trump leaned forward, cutting across the flow of the discussion. His voice carried a sharp edge, the kind of dismissal meant to humiliate and dominate. He didn't wait for her point to land, didn't even let the sentence finish. He wanted the moment to sting, to brand Jasmine Crockett in front of a live audience as someone beneath him. The interruption lasted only a few seconds, but its weight filled the room. Gasps slipped out from the crowd, anchors froze mid-gesture, and the camera zoomed closer. Trump smirked, confident he had thrown her off balance. He wanted to set the tone, to dictate the battlefield before she even had a chance to fire back. But what he didn't expect was how quickly Jasmine's eyes sharpened. She leaned in, her silence stretching just long enough to build tension. Those 11 seconds became unbearable, the kind of pause that makes even the loudest man shrink. Viewers across the country held their breath, sensing something explosive was about to come. Trump's smile faltered ever so slightly. The audience leaned forward, and then Jasmine opened her mouth, ready to strike.
They are. But the reality is that we need to start speaking more truth if we are really going to get to the real power. And if we don't recognize the full history, then we are doomed to repeat it. And frankly, this is a guy that is trying to do everything.
Jasmine's voice cut through the silence, low but unwavering. She didn't raise her tone to match Trump's volume. Instead, she slowed everything down, forcing every ear in the room to hang on her words. She reminded everyone watching that this was not a circus, not a comedy show, but a platform where truth mattered. Her words carried the weight of history, of fights that stretched far beyond this studio. She framed Trump not as a bold leader, but as a man desperate to drown out truth with noise. Trump tried to chuckle again, his trademark laugh that had rattled opponents in the past. But this time, the laughter felt strained, like an echo falling flat. He leaned back, searching for his rhythm, but Jasmine was already in control. She named the stakes: leadership, justice, dignity. She painted the picture of a nation at the edge, a country choosing between accountability and chaos. Every phrase tightened the grip on Trump's image, reshaping him from an aggressor into a man cornered by his own arrogance. The audience, once split between amusement and tension, now tilted heavily toward Jasmine. In just seconds, she had shifted the energy in the room, and Trump could sense it. The interruption that was supposed to silence her had become the very spark that amplified her power.
Listen, Donald Trump is a piece of shit. Okay, we know that. Yes, yes. He is. He is. He is.
The crowd erupted. Gasps, scattered applause, even a few shocked laughs broke through the tension. Jasmine didn't flinch. Her words were a hammer, deliberate and final. She knew the cameras were rolling, she knew millions were watching, and she chose not to hold back. Trump blinked, visibly stunned. He had been insulted before, but rarely with such raw, unapologetic force, and never by someone he had just dismissed as low IQ. Jasmine turned the tables in a single strike, and suddenly it was Trump who looked rattled. She pressed on, each sentence sharper than the last. She called out his record, the lawsuits, the indictments, the impeachments that had piled up like an avalanche no one could ignore. She spoke of broken promises, of chaos left in his wake, of scandals that stained his every step. Every fact she laid out carried the sting of truth, wrapped in the energy of a prosecutor delivering her closing argument. Trump opened his mouth to interrupt again, but the noise from the audience drowned him out. For the first time, his words carried no authority. Jasmine wasn't just answering him. She was dismantling him, brick by brick, in front of a nation that could see his swagger unravel. The man who thrived on being untouchable now looked exposed, and every camera captured the moment he faltered.
She became a career prosecutor while he became a career criminal. With 34 felonies, 2 impeachments, and 1 porn star to prove it.
The words landed like a thunderclap. For a heartbeat, the studio froze. Then came the explosion. Cheers, groans, shouts colliding into a roar that shook the air. Trump's face darkened. He tried to force out a retort, but his mouth betrayed him. The sentence never fully formed. The camera zoomed in, catching the twitch of his jaw, the flicker of unease in his eyes. This wasn't just a jab. It was an indictment, delivered with surgical precision by someone who had built her career on exposing lies and crushing frauds. Jasmine didn't stop. She drove the point harder, contrasting his legacy of chaos with her record of fighting for justice. Every syllable painted him not as a strong man, but as a desperate defendant standing trial in the court of public opinion. The audience had shifted completely. Gasps turned to chants. Disbelief turned into applause. It was no longer Trump commanding the spotlight. It was Jasmine holding the nation in her hands. For once, Trump's interruptions failed him. The man who thrived on control had none. His smirk was gone, his bravado cracked, and in that moment, live before millions, Jasmine Crockett didn't just counter his insult, she shattered the very image he tried to project.
So took this as an opportunity to again flex on MAGA and let them know that I will always be smarter than you.
Jasmine leaned back, her voice steady, her gaze locked on Trump. She didn't shout. She didn't rush. She delivered her final line like a verdict. The room erupted. Applause, cheers, disbelief blending into one storm of noise. Trump sat in silence, cornered, stripped of his usual weapons. 11 seconds earlier, he thought he had seized control. Now, Jasmine Crockett had flipped the stage, leaving him exposed and defeated before a live audience. Her closing words echoed far beyond the studio. This wasn't just a clash, it was a message. She proved that arrogance can be broken, that even the loudest voice can be silenced by truth spoken with precision and fire. And in that final moment, Trump was no longer the interrupter. He was the one interrupted.